Hey there, welcome to another quick edition of TechSpot.de. This edition today we're going to be talking about Webmin installation. Webmin is something that I kind of recommend to inexperienced users of any Linux distribution. I say inexperienced because it has some great GUI sort of aspects to it that can help you or assist you set up maybe a task that you find complicated or daunting. However, there is one thing I have to say about Webmin is the fact that please do not try to replace the command line interface with Webmin, because there are just some things that you can't do with Webmin, unfortunately. One of the areas I would never use Webmin for example, is setting up DNS. It's far easier to do it manually on the command line interface than using this web-based interface that excuse me, Webmin supply. So let's fire up our command line, our terminal rather, and let's go with the installation. Now, this installation in particular is works on 12.10, Ubuntu 12.10. As you can see, I'm using Mint 14, but the platform itself is essentially the same. It's just the desktop environment's graphical user interface is slightly different in Mint compared to Ubuntu. Ideally, you wouldn't run this on a desktop environment anyway, Webmin. It's mainly for server administration, etc. So first thing we need to do is just talk about what Webmin is. It's a web-based interface systems administration for Unix or Linux. You can use any modern sort of web browser, set up user accounts, manage Apache DNS file sharing, and pretty much a lot more backups, etc. It removes the need to manually edit configuration files. For example, the password file for your system, and of course, it's easy to use. It's just a login screen, and you're ready to go. Okay, so first of all, I want to go ahead and install a LAMP installation very quickly. So the way I'm going to do this is just by issuing these commands: sudo apt get install Apache 2 PHP 5 MySQL. I want MySQL server. So I hit the tab key there, by the way. It brings up a list of available MySQL installations. If you just leave it at MySQL and press tab key, if you're not aware of that. So there we go. We've got the Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP there to install. So let's just hit enter there. And this should go right ahead and install the system for us. Hit yes. I do want to use the disk space. Okay, this is just going to take a few minutes to install. Maybe a few seconds, depending on how fast my network and system is at the moment. And I'll come back to it once it's all completely installed. So as you can see, it's brought up a box for me asking me to put a password in for MySQL. This is quite normal, so just enter what you like in. Obviously something secure if you're intending to use it for production databases or live databases. It's always wise to use something secure. Don't use your date of birth, your name, or anything stupid like that, or a Walt Disney character, for example. Okay, it's just going through the setting up of the database very quickly. because this is a virtual machine I'm running it on, it's a little slower than normal, what it would normally be. You would expect that installations to go pretty smooth. And faster. There you go, it's just restarted the Apache server. Okay, here we go. So that's all installed. Press Ctrl L then to completely clear the screen, have a nice fresh canvas again. Right, so Webmin is not actually included in the repositories as standard or by default. You have to go and edit the sources list yourself. Now the sources list can be found in the etc folder under apt. We're going to do that now, and I'm going to add the Debian mirrors for Webmin. So let's do this now. So we go sudo, so my apologies, sudo nano, because I want to edit the file, etc apt, and then sources list. Hit enter on that. As you can see, there's not much in here. It's been cleaned out pretty much, which I like. It's very nice. And we're going to add the Debian sources here. There's 2 lines to add, by the way, which you'll see in a second. Okay, so deb http. So I just had to locate the actual lines I wanted to enter, and I need to enter them manually because I haven't got paste and copy and redirectional at the moment. Maybe I'll do that next time. Okay, that's the first line. The second line is deb. It's pretty, a little bit similar, not too much similar. HTTP webmin dot mirror dot Somerset text solutions. Somerset, just make sure I got that incorrect. Somerset text solutions .co.uk /repository Sarge contrib again. Okay, so once all that's in, you're happy with it, you press Ctrl X, then Y, and enter, and that's the repository updated. Now, sorry, not the repository, your sources list updated. Now, to get everything added to the sources list, you need to do a few things first. First, you need to download a key. So let's just go wget. If I do, I like to use sudo all the time, no matter what. HTTP / www.webmin webmin.com jcameron dot dash key .asc. Here we go, it's just downloading the key for the installation. And there we go, we've got the key there, okay? And then we need to issue another command, then sudo apt get add jcameron dash key .asc. Oh, what did I do wrong there? Oh, my apologies. Sudo apt key, not add get. It's false habit that is, unfortunately. Okay, that's all added now. Now we want to update our sources list. with the repository. So let's go sudo apt get update. Here we go, it's just updating everything. Done. Everything's done there. So if all's well and good, you shouldn't have any error messages once you've added the key. If you don't have the key, you get an error message saying it may not be a trusted source, etc., etc. But if all goes well, you should be able to install Webmin as you would normally install any other package from any repository. So let's try that. So sudo apt get install Webmin. Do I want to continue? It's only 135 megabit. Yeah, why not? Let's go yes. Okay, let's just let this go through the process of downloading the actual package. Again, this would be faster normally on a live system, so don't be too deterred from the speed that it's running. Nearly there. I would say go make a cup of coffee, but it'll probably already be done by the time you've made your coffee, so there's not really much point in doing that. Okay, I'm just going to press pause and I'll come back once it's installed. Okay, there you go, it's actually installed now. What you didn't see was this part here, installation complete. This information here, where it's got the web address, this is the one you really need, and the one you need to look for. The port number, these 10,000 at the end, that's standard for Webmin, so don't worry about that, that's fine. Okay, so let's copy this web address, shall we? Or just, yeah, let's just copy that. You can do whatever you like, copy link address, copy, and go into our web browser, fire up Firefox. Okay, let's just reposition this so you can see what's going on here. You can see it takes you direct to the Mint web page, start page here. Okay, so let's paste this web address in that we got. Okay, this is a normal message. It says it may be untrusted. It's basically because you haven't got SSL set up on either your server or computer or whatever, and you haven't got a valid certificate available, so it's saying it may be untrusted, but it's perfectly fine because it's only on your local network. Okay, so you say, yeah, I understand the risks, add the exception, confirm the security exception and take me in. Okay, here we go. So, your login details are your normal login details that you use for your system. So you can just go right ahead and use those, whether it's a server or a desktop. You can't remember your password, I wouldn't. Ideally, it would let me in. So let's just try that as root. No, we shouldn't not do as root. Let's try that again. So there you go. Didn't like me pushing enter, that's all. So let's have a quick look at the some of the details on the front screen here, or the splash page. It's just the your system details, as you can see here. Your real memory, what's available, is being used, virtual the same. Your disk space again, what's being used, what's available, and your processor information. So when you've had a look at that, you'll probably get bored of it within 5 minutes or 5 seconds, depending on your attention span. Let's have a look at this menu up here. Okay. This first part is for Webmin itself and the administration of Webmin. As you can see here, you can back up your configuration files. That's all the modules on your system that you've installed. You can back those up if you wish. You can do schedule backups and restores as well. I won't go through all the details. I won't go through everything in detail. You can just look at that yourself. There's plenty of tutorials or information on Google relating to this subject. You can change your language or theme. If you prefer not to use US English, you can change it there. And there's a few themes here you can use as opposed to the old Webmin theme. Global theme, which grey frame theme is the default one. You've got your action logs here. Build up logs for create logs for the for whatever module you wish. And Webmin configuration, you need to be careful with this one, because if you make any wrong moves on this, you could mess up your system, or the use of Webmin, that is, rather. Upgrade Webmin. You can see everything for yourself there. Feel free to browse it. Web server options there. I click on web server options just to show you what it looks like. Web server index. Now, if you've got many servers, you can register them in this screen, and eventually, if you see this this item here on the list called cluster, you can cluster your machines for load balancing, etc. Webmin uses self-explanatory. You can create and configure new users or groups and data on the database. Okay, so let's close that one up. Boot and shutdown. Now with this you can change whether you want services to start up on boot up, whether they're running now, etc, etc. There's loads in there. Again, self-explanatory. You can pretty much do what you like with that, or you can create a new startup service if you wish. Change passwords. Again, self-explanatory. If you want to create a new password for root, you can do that. There's not one on this machine because it's fresh install, as always. Disk and network file systems just gives you a list, and you can add mounts from here, by the way. You've got a list here of all your mounts that you want to add. Personally, I don't, and I won't use this. It's probably because I'm old school, I think. I prefer to use the command line interface, because I want to know what's going on and what's been changed, and how it's been configured myself. That's how I prefer to do things. But by all means, if you want to use this, I'm sure it works fine. Use this system. You can add a mount to yourself. Okay, file system backup. Self-explanatory. You can click add a new backup for a directory, and you can restore. Again, don't try to use this as a complete solution for your backups, because it's not as powerful as backups systems like Bacula, for example. It just doesn't cut the mustard when it comes to those types of software. Log file rotation. Again, it's self-explanatory. It's just rotation of all your log files. I won't insult your intelligence on that one. Memory type programs, your PAM authentication, running processes is actually easier to do this and in the command line interface really, just by hitting top. So there you go. They're all the things that are running. Schedule commands, cron jobs, package updates, documentation logs, user and groups. I won't go through all those. I'll be here forever otherwise. Okay, Apache web server. You may have a lot of web servers set up on your system. If so, you will have different globes here for each web server, and you can go in and interrogate those individually and set up check process limits and all the other stuff, PHP configuration, edit the directives there, and you can see the directory, the root directory of the web directory rather of your files. Again, you can set permissions there. So it's pretty nice looking, I have to admit, but just be careful. But for the average users, it is a pretty nice system. So you've got MySQL database here. You can log into your MySQL database if you wish. It should be, if you'll allow me in. Here we go. It's a basic layout of your MySQL database. If you want to have a look what's inside the table, the databases themselves and the tables, or you can create databases, of course, yourself. I prefer to use again command line interface personally, although I used PHP MyAdmin as an alternative to this because it's much more it's a much more powerful application, and it's easy to use as well. And you'll find that most web developers use PHP MyAdmin for MySQL databases if they can. Okay, so Samba shares. If you want to connect any Windows, share any files with Windows environments, you've got Windows to Unix print in there. This is quite a nice little module, to be honest. But again, if you can do it manually, do it manually. But this is quite nice; it does work. Okay, others. You've got command shell here. You can execute a command from here. Personally, I wouldn't use it. Same thing, custom commands. File manager comes up in like a Java window. It takes a few moments to load. You should see it saying starting applet at the bottom there. It might not actually load because it's a bit slow. I'm going to skip it anyway because all it does is actually give you, it's just like a Windows Explorer file manager, that sort of setup. Don't use it if you can help it. Use the command line interface, or if you're using a desktop, use your Nautilus or Cinnamon or whatever else you're using. HTTP tunnels, PHP configuration if you want to edit your PHP INI files, Perl, protected web directories. That's if you want to add a .htaccess rule in any directory to stop people getting in them. SSH login. Don't use this if you can. Use them open SSH within your installation if you can. Because this leaves things. I don't trust it. Basically, that's the main reason. Just gives you a server status as well, which is quite nice. Tells you what's installed and etc. You see, I haven't got Bind's DNS server installed. It's only a desktop lab environment, so there's nothing to worry about there. DHCP is not installed. NFS is not installed. So it's not monitoring it basically. Okay, upload and download. Again, that's self-explanatory. Okay, there's networking, bandwidth monitoring. You can set it up if you want. I'm not going to set anything up on this one, but you can set up some bandwidth monitoring on here. IP tables, Linux firewall. Ideally, don't use this. You can just use UFW on the command line, or edit the IP tables the normal way. I might do a tutorial on that. NIS client server, network configuration. It just shows you the setup of your network interface cards. So you've got, as you can see, there's two on here. I've got 70 and 65, and LO is my loopback address, local address. But I've got two network cards up and running on the network there. And you can go in and edit the details in here. IP4 addresses only, by the way. It's your address, this broadcast. There's really no need to change these, and you can do it manually by following maybe my DHCP tutorial. So VPN client. There are other ways to do it, but you can use this if you wish. That's self-explanatory. It's just the options for your system, your device options, etc. As you can see, you can select what it is. If you need to use it, that's fine. And finally, cluster. It's not a bad little module here, and it does allow you to do load balancing. Basically, it sets up a cron job within your system to switch the traffic between servers, and that's it really. It's a load balancing module, but it's nice because you can do software package updates for across all servers or whatever. You can do cluster shell command. You can see from here cluster cron jobs, cluster copy, etc., if you wish. So there you go. There you have it. That's Webmin. I will reiterate. It's a nice little GUI package, and it's great. It is powerful. It incorporates a lot of the common tasks within any Linux environment. But for the Linux admin, the pro Linux admin, I use these words wisely. I would say that the pro user admin wouldn't use Webmin. I certainly don't. I do it all by CLI, so I know what's going on inside the box, etc. But you can't knock it. If it works, it works, and it's a nice looking little web-based application. So there you go. If you've got any questions, then please leave comments in the bottom. Sorry that I ramble on a lot, it's just my nature. And if you like this video, please subscribe, and there'll be more videos in the future. Thanks for watching.